What's up, everybody? This is Oliver Bixby, and this is the People Talk podcast for Thursday, December 28th, will it be?
Yes.
2017.
Yep, that is accurate.
All right. How's it going, everybody? You're hearing the voice of Pete Komistra, this week's guest on the podcast. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I am doing swell. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't stop by my favorite hometown without recording a little something.
Favorite hometown.
Yeah.
I wish I did have multiple hometowns so I could pick a favorite.
It would be, yeah, that actually would be kind of nice. Instead, there's just this long, streaky blur of growing up and adolescence and extended adolescence in one town.
Do you think if you were born somewhere, but you didn't stay there, like if you had kind of a nomadic childhood, would that be would you have like no sense of home? Is that a thing?
I guess maybe. I mean, if you like moved when you were 5, even if you then lived somewhere else for a while, that like pre-5 era, you would still have memories of it, but it'd be weird and like not, oh, that's not really my hometown. That's just a place my parents made me and I existed for a while.
True.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to go find an army brat or something and be like, so, do you feel like you're ever home?
And they're a brat, so they're like, no.
Never.
But where do you go for the holidays? Just wherever your family is at the moment?
I would guess so. I mean, yeah. I don't feel like we're going to end up finding this out because I don't foresee either of our parents moving out of Racine at this point, no matter where we might end up moving to. Oh. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, now I guess we go to Nashville for Christmas because that's where my parents decided to move to.
Static family problems.
Right. Yep. Favorite hometown. Forever town. Racine, Wisconsin.
So then, would you be part of a new generation of starting a new hometown? Like, so you live in the Twin Cities. Let's say you love the Twin Cities and you live there for many, many years and hypothetically have a family. That then is their hometown?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I feel like we're just over-explaining family and life right now.
Probably. But yeah, because, well, again, I'm a terrible example for this because I was like, well, wherever my grandparents lived, that would have just been the city that my grandparents lived in as opposed to my hometown, which is where my parents made me and raised me for a while. But both sets of grandparents still lived in Racine. So for me, everything was just Racine. It was Racine all the way down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same, for sure. Like, my grandparents all were in different cities of still Wisconsin, but they kind of all gravitated somehow towards Racine.
Converged on this megalopolis.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then it's weird because, like going even further back, like any sort of great-grandparent story is all about how like they were the ones who came over from like Europe or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then to think of like, maybe future generations, like, are they going to go somewhere else or is it just going to be, I don't know, we've just been kicking around in the same couple of United States for generations.
Sure. Yeah, is it going to be, wow, not that long ago, everybody was in Europe, and then they just stuck around the Midwest for decades and decades and decades.
Or is there going to be some new place where everyone is trying to go? Like Antarctica. Is Antarctica going to really heat up? Become a attraction?
Get balmy. Just a delicious place to start a new family and call your hometown.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, can't stay emperors of the world forever. At some point things are going to change up.
I feel like they still have no ozone down there, though. So I feel like that would be a problem. I'm not sure if that's still a thing or not. But.
Actually, I heard something. I think the hole in the ozone layer is smaller this year than it has been since any time in the 1980s.
The ozone or the hole?
The hole.
Okay.
Yeah, the hole. I think it finally stopped expanding and is actually starting to come back. But still not as fast as they projected that it might. So maybe in, I don't know, let's give it 70,000 years. We'll be good. Everything will be good.
Everything will be right as rain.
Mm-hmm.
So, good holidays.
Yeah.
Good times.
Sure. Yeah.
Coming back to the hometown.
Absolutely. Seeing the family, all that jazz. I don't know that any, real exciting, we're home for Christmas stories happened, but I guess it was my niece's first Christmas. She showed an aptitude for grabbing wrapping paper and through a series of jerking motions almost got the paper torn off of the package and was able to do that for present after present after present. So there's some level of motor skills going on there, even if the concept of gift giving is totally beyond her at this point.
That's good.
Yep. And that...
I feel like some babies are don't even grasp the concept of tearing the paper off and just have no interest.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe if something's flashy.
Yeah, I think where she was at was just, all I want to do is take anything within reach and put it in my mouth. And so she was probably just I need this paper. I need this paper. I can
put it in my mouth.
There we go. Now it's in my mouth. Perfect. I've achieved my life goals. But then it'd all get torn out of her mouth and she'd have to start all over again.
I was watching this thing. They have this thing on Hulu. I don't know if you've seen this. It's called Puppies Crash Christmas.
Nope.
So they just made up. It's a half hour long. I don't know what even to call it. It's a Christmas special, and they just filmed a house all with a nice tree and a bunch of presents, and a dining table with food set out, and there's no people in it. There's just 8 dogs, and they just let them loose and whatever they do. And they just start fighting and tearing open presents and ripping everything down and just destroy the room.
So they just set up cameras and they're let's just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so it was a half-hour thing. Is it one half-hour thing, or is there a first season of Puppies Crash Christmas?
It's just one. It's a one-shot deal. It's just 35 minutes of just puppies destroying Christmas presents.
I have to assume that they were going to film something entirely different on that set that day, and then puppies from some other set on a different lot just all got loose, and everybody was on lunch or something at this original scene, and they're man, we were going to film, our dream project in this Christmas setting, but now that these puppies have ruined everything, I think we just have to release this and hopefully recoup all of our losses. Saves on script writers.
For sure. Cast, do you really have to pay puppies?
don't know. Is there a union for puppies?
I have a feeling there's going to be after this.
Right. Change starts with us.
But I was watching it, and they have all different breeds. Like there was a husky, there was a bloodhound, there was just kind of like labs and different mixes. And I felt like you could tell, you're almost like looking at the different breeds like, oh yeah, you don't want to get that kind of dog because that dog will just tear, that's the kind of dog that'll tear up anything in your house when you leave.
So this was just a big vehicle for stereotyping dogs? Is that where we're going?
Ultimately, because by the end I was like, I guess I need a bloodhound because that bloodhound just chilled and he did not participate in any destruction. He kind of like comically like sat on one of the presents and smushed it, but he was just trying to get comfortable.
Right.
Like he wasn't trying to be a bad dog.
Right. You can't blame a dog for wanting to sit down sometimes.
No.
I mean,
some of it was a little staged though, because like there was a really tiny dog, and there was like the corner of the big dining room table, the tablecloth, and he grabbed a corner of it and he was pulling on it, and then kind of like from a distance it was covered up, but they showed the whole thing coming crashing down, and I was like, that little tiny puppy didn't have the strength to take out like 10 place settings at once.
Yeah. So
it was still pretty funny though.
Are you suggesting that at some point a human being did enter and pull the whole tablecloth? Or was it, well, we only got a good shot of this little puppy pulling the tablecloth, and later some burlier puppy came over and was like, I'll just tear this thing down. Do you think it was the hands of man that destroyed this table, or the mouths of pups?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a guy hiding behind the couch that just yanked on it.
Okay.
They're really bad at continuity if they're suggesting that a tiny dog was pulling on it and then they cut away and then it came crashing down by some other dog that they never showed.
Right.
That's bad editing if that's what they're suggesting.
Right.
I have a feeling there was about 10 humans like right off camera the whole time just trying to instigate more bad behavior the entire time.
Could be. I don't know how much instigation puppies need when left. I mean, when left unattended, I would think they would be more chaotic, but I've never filmed puppies in a Christmas setting before. And all told, there are very few things that I've just let loose and been like, let's just see what happens. I'm just going to let this roll for 30 minutes and put it up on Hulu. It's not really my jam. I'm either laid back or fully trying to be in control and take care of every need possible. So I probably would have been catering to all of the puppies as they rampaged.
Yeah.
So you watched the full 30 minutes of Puppies Crash Christmas?
Oh yeah.
All right.
And like attentively. Like I didn't just put it on and then was doing other things. I was sitting there.
Gotcha.
Staring at it.
I thought maybe you were going to tell me that you watched the behind the scenes of Puppies Crash Christmas as well.
I would watch with commentary if they had some commentary. Like I'd like to know what all happened while they were making it as well, or how the idea came about.
That's true.
I just want to know the germ of the idea. That's what I want to know. Because my thing is, if I was going to film something like a first project, like my first instinct is like a horror movie, because you just do like some sort of low budget horror movie,
Okay.
like Blair Witch kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can make it cheaply, but just make it super scary, and then it can go viral or something like that. But something like this, that might be the next big thing. Just kind of like viral, just chaos and destruction at the hands of cute animals.
Okay. I was like, Nate's going to like instigate riots.
Not just...
And just be like in season 1 of Racine Riots.
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting going out looking for violence and just filming it. Let's see how this turns out. Mm-hmm. That's called the news.
Right. Yeah. They've already got a market or a hold on that market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know who the target audience was for Puppies Crash Christmas. Who was like, yeah, we can do this, and we're definitely gonna get views. I mean, they got you, and if somebody told me that Puppies Crash Christmas exists, you are not the first person that I would have topped that list. It's like, oh yeah, Nate's definitely gonna watch Puppies Crash Christmas. So I'm wondering what they learned, what sort of demographic. They're like, oh, interesting. We could really cater to these people.
I have a feeling there's going to be more things, and they're going to diverge into even more weird and random topics.
Okay, so are you thinking diverging into like different holidays or scenarios, or are you thinking different cutenesses causing chaos? Like, we're going to have kittens in one, and...
Yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. But then the whole, like, meme or genre will burn out, and they'll have to find a new, like, thing. Like, I feel like it'll just turn into, like a YouTube thing. Like, there's so many different YouTube channels of, like doing crazy science experiments in your backyard or something.
Okay.
I like watching those, too. Where it's like things that are barely advisable to do under supervision, people are just doing in their backyard with like, I don't know, scientific elements that explode and things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That could be. I mean, cute things are always going to grab people's attention. And so now we're kind of combining the backyard science experiment with the who knows just how awry this is going to go with, yeah, that's cute. I'll watch that for a while.
Or like super slow-mo, they could do that. Maybe like dogs and cats jumping on a trampoline and doing flips in slow motion.
I would watch that.
Yeah,
for sure. Except that I just remembered that Rule 34 exists, and I feel pretty weird about Puppies Crash Christmas and Rule 34. Because Rule 34 of the internet is if it exists, there's porn of it. And the Puppies Crash Christmas porn, I don't know. I don't really know about that one.
It's in that, I mean, there is a part, so there's this giant punch bowl filled with milk. Okay. Assumedly, they're leaving out milk and cookies for Santa. And two of the dogs jump up on this really nice couch. Like it looks like, you know, very expensive, nice piece of furniture. And they're like licking out of the milk bowl. And then, of course, at some point when the dog's like puts a paw on the thing and pulls it down, and this entire punch bowl full of milk spills all over this super nice chair and starts dripping onto the floor, onto the nice carpet. And they do these like almost weird shots of just looking at the milk dripping, seeping up from the chair onto the carpet. So it's almost there. Like it does get like super weird.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of heathens put milk in an enormous bowl like that?
That's what I'm talking about, the instigators. Like, there's people just setting up all these. There was a fireplace going. Luckily, it was blocked off, but I was like, that's not going to end well if
no
if they can get in there.
Not at all. I mean, setting the whole thing on fire that's probably why there was the whole bowl of milk. They're like, in case of emergency, you can just douse this whole place in milk. As far as I know, that's the least flammable dairy product. I've done no studies on the flammability of dairy products, so I'm going to say that mayo is more flammable than milk.
I could see that.
I bet non-dairy creamer is the most dangerous, though. That'll probably light right up.
Any sort of dehydrated product.
Yeah. Yep. Which I suppose anything that's dehydrated sounds like it's probably more flammable than water. So public school education is really, it's getting us far.
Are dehydrated people more susceptible to fire than well-hydrated people? I would bet.
I mean, based on all of the RPGs that I've played over the years, I feel like skeletons and zombies took way more damage from fire spells. I think the definition of a skeleton and a zombie is a dehydrated human being. So, I think that may actually be true. We have to do some spontaneous combustion studies based on how much Gatorade you drink.
I'd be towards the more flammable end of that scale, I feel like.
That could be. But I guess I base this on the fact that I think you're the one who told me, like, if you ever feel thirsty, then you're already dehydrated. So I just assume that you know that because you've experienced dehydration firsthand.
No, that's definitely something I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's just some stupid factoid I read somewhere. If you feel thirsty, you already are needing hydration. I don't know.
Which, I mean, is probably true of, hunger as well. It's like, oh, if you're hungry, your body is looking for some more food. By definition, that's kind of what hunger is. But I don't know. I guess hunger feels like something that is more of like can be tweaked by other things. Like you can learn to be like, oh, well, my stomach isn't full, so I could technically eat more. I guess I must be hungry. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of like addicted sippers out there who are just like, I need to keep my body as hydrated as possible at all times.
I could see that. But I mean, luckily, like you can pretty much drink as much water as you want to a point without it being dangerous. Whereas food, yeah, if you just eat and eat and eat, you're probably more likely to keep eating. Mm-hmm. Some sort of like feedback loop of sorts.
Something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with the stomach being able to expand. Although, I guess that's probably where everything that you drink more or less resides as well before it gets absorbed. So, I don't know. It's time to break out the biology book and figure out some impulse control and yeah. We were talking about Puppies Crash Christmas.
We were.
And we ended up here.
Puppies Crash Christmas. No, it was good.
Yeah. I will take your word for it only because I don't have a Hulu subscription, so I can't check it out on my personal device. Otherwise, I would turn it on and not just in the background. I would attentively watch Puppies Crash Christmas, because watching some milk drip, watching puppies cause chaos. That's the compelling moment for me. Where the action is.
All right, that's we're gonna have to leave it right there for today. So, yeah, everybody, hopefully you have a good week, and come back next week for the rest of my conversation with Pete Komistra.